Greetings, Internet viewers.
Hello, interwebs.
My name is Jamison.
And I am Chris.
And welcome to Geeks and Tea,
where we spill the tea about geeky stuff.
Today we'll be reviewing the Lego Batman movie.
So get your tea, and let's discuss.
Fair warning, there are spoilers ahead, so if you have not seen the movie, please click off the video or else it will ruin the movie for you. Alright, overall, I really did enjoy the movie.
It's playing to the kid inside of us all.
And I love what they did with the sets and how they made everything out of Legos, but it was still really lifelike.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It would be a world that you would want to go visit.
Oh, by far. It's my second favorite Gotham.
Mm-hmm. The one thing DC does always get right is their trailers and their promotions. Because even though they gave a lot to us, they didn't spoil
a lot of stuff. No. There were a lot of big jokes in the trailers and things like that. But honestly, there were so many other unexpected jokes in the movie that overshadowed anything that you saw in the trailers.
The whole movie was almost unexpected. The opening credit scene was amazing. I like the fact that the guys weren't afraid of the Joker.
No.
I mean, he is a clown, so even though, yes, he's quite frightening at times, it was really funny for them to poke fun at him.
Yeah, this Joker, we were discussing this before we started recording today, about the different kind of Jokers that have been in incarnations of Batman. And honestly, this is by far one of my favorite Jokers, because he takes it to that lighthearted, funny, but there are definite times where he is channeling some Mark Hamill. And it made that crossover for me is really what did it.
I mean, he definitely made more jokes. He definitely made fun of things. He made fun of the other rogues gallery.
What was the quote? How could I take over Gotham with a group of human farts?
The entire movie had nods to all incarnations of Batman.
Yes.
They really did play homage to the 1966 Adam West Batman in many different ways. They even brought back a whole bunch of villains that we haven't seen in modern incarnations. They mentioned King Tut, Condiment Man,
Mothman. There was a lot of like bad guys that I had to Google, which is funny
because in the movie they actually made the comment about, "Oh, you're making these up." Nope, I believe it deserves a Google. And then you just I can just see people pulling out their phones in the middle of the theater, being Google searching all of these random villains. It was absolutely spectacular. I love what they did.
There's a lot of fourth wall breaking in this, which was great. I'm gonna say that not only besides the nods to Adam West and the entire Batman universe, the cast was really thought out.
It was.
I mean, from Zach Galifianakis and Rosario Dawson, Ray Fiennes. If you know him as much, he's Voldemort, but in this one he plays Alfred. To Will Arnett and Michael Cera, who haven't been together since Arrested Development, which made a great team up.
One of the big things that I really, really did like was their portrayal of Barbara Gordon.
Yes,
as
absolutely.
a very strong woman, which is a complete contrast to what they did with the Killing Joke,
right?
Which, as you and I discussed, I had big issues with the way they portrayed her and the beginning part where they give her backstory and all of that.
It was a little uncomfortable.
It was very uncomfortable, and there's actually a scene in The Killing Joke where they focus in on her boobs as she's running, and it completely took me out of the movie because it was unnecessary.
It was unnecessary.
In this incarnation of her, She is very strong. She wants to work with the Batman. She wants to work with the law. She went to Harvard for cops.
Harvard for cops.
Which I thought was just the greatest thing ever. And just really, really strong personality.
Absolutely. I mean, I really enjoyed her. She was a great mashup of both the Batman Beyond, where she becomes Commissioner, and the beforehand, where they discuss her as being, Batgirl, which was great. And even her costume was a classic purple and gold, which was great.
Although I liked Bat Soccer Mom personally.
Oh, Bat Soccer Mom. So good. That's another thing. The costumes themselves were their own characters in this movie. Each one with its own backstory. We follow a particular other YouTuber.
They made the comment about everything looking the same, and my argument was they're Legos.
They're all gonna look the same.
They're not going to be that different. Yes, the cowls and everything were the same exact mold, but they're Legos. That's what they're going to do.
They're toys.
Another thing I absolutely loved was the soundtrack was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
They got a lot of famous songs that really played off the heartstrings, and there really were no misses with the soundtrack.
There's even a couple original songs, one by Will Arnett and Michael Cera.
The opening song. I had to look like the Joker because I was smiling from ear to ear. It was so funny and so rock oriented.
It was really, really good.
And then, as I said, the movie really does tug on the heartstrings. But the thing I liked is they were restrained with it. They didn't go full on Pixar with it to where you're just like, oh my god, this is awful. So there was a nice balance.
It was absolutely a nice balance.
Another thing that they did, and this is where all the spoilers come in, is they introduced all of these villains from different properties.
Yeah.
They had
different Lego properties.
Little Lego properties and Warner Brothers properties. They brought in Voldemort. They brought in King Kong, Swamp Thing.
Dracula.
No, it wasn't Swamp Thing. It was... Well, yeah, they did Dracula. Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Sauron.
Sauron, which actually played quite a big role. I loved it.
My eye.
Lava. Lots of lava.
Lots of lava. We could do that.
And then The Witch of the West, Gremlins.
And then, of course, our particular favorite of them all, British robots.
The British robots. Exterminate! Exterminate!
And the quip about that was, British robots, ask your new friends.
Yes. And it was. There was so many wall breaks, and it was just perfect because they brought in all of these different fandoms, and they married them together really beautifully.
Oh, they really did.
And then at the very end, we did have the snake clowns.
Snake clowns, right? Because I'm not afraid of snakes already, or clowns, and then they're gonna bring snake clowns.
I might actually be afraid of those. But that also leads me to the negative parts of the movie. Is they throw away the Batman Rogues Gallery, who is the most iconic rogue gallery in all of fiction. As I was talking to an owner of a comic book shop about the movie, he flat out said that you can go up to any person on the street and say, name a Batman villain, and they'd be able to name one of the
20.
Yeah.
At least.
I mean, they are just that iconic. Another thing, as much as they did nods to the classic Batman, the 1966 and previous incarnations, they did kind of reduce some of the characters to nothing. Catwoman being in particular, even though it was funny at first,
she kind of disappeared.
She did. It was just kind of constantly, oh, we can do that, meow, 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 which...
I thought it was hilarious.
As I said, at first it was good. I almost said Julie Newmar. Wrong Catwoman incarnation. Poison Ivy, I didn't like the way they portrayed Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy is one of my favorite villains.
I like the way they portrayed Bane because he was like the...
Bane was good.
Because he was the combination of the Batman Return... Was it Batman and Robin or Batman and Returns that Bane was in it with Poison Ivy?
That was Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin. And...
With Uma Thurman.
With Uma Thurman. But Bane was a combination of that plus Chris Nolan's Bane, which was nice. So, like, some of the Rogues Gallery were actually pretty good, and they kind of mixed their characters from all the generations, which I really enjoyed.
Another problem I had with the movie was I felt that Robin was too young. I understand a lot of people are going to argue with me on this. I'm used to the Nightwing Dick Grayson. And that's kind of how I've gotten to.
That in the movie.
Well, they do play a nod to Nightwing, but that's what I'm used to. So to have him be portrayed that young, kind of tripped me out a little bit.
Well, we have to remember that even in the comic books, Dick Grayson starts off as a kid.
He does.
Grows into the Nightwing, so he has to at some point start as a kid.
Yeah.
Even if he doesn't start as Robin that young. Which, I mean, in this movie, they portray him as being, like, maybe 10 or something like that. But
I do think they did a really good job with using him and manipulating the big family aspect. Because ultimately, this is a family movie. This isn't your
Chris Nolan
Batman fan movie. Though I think they will really enjoy it. One of the other cons I had is it really wasn't Batman. I felt like he was too self-centered compared to the way Batman really is. However, I can see where someone who's not a Batman fan would see him that way.
Right.
So I like that they made fun of that, but I wish he would have been less douchey.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was still really funny.
I really enjoyed him. Will Arnett's portrayal of Batman, I liked. Yeah, he was a little on the bro side, but at the same time, I think he was poking fun at that.
Yeah.
Because even his voice, he kind of made fun of the Christian Bale growl, because he even took it as far as Bruce Wayne's voice being Batman's voice.
Yeah.
The whole time. So I don't know.
Although I loved the party scene where he just grabbed the champagne just to spit out the champagne.
Yeah.
And also one of the really funny things was Batman always had his cowl on.
Always.
So even when he was just like lounging around at home, he had his cowl on.
Yeah.
So even though there are parts of it I don't like because of them kind of making fun of Batman, I thought it was hilarious because it just really was.
It just was fun. It was funny and fun.
The Justice League. When they introduced the Justice League, they missed so many jokes.
I know, they really did.
They introduced Superman, and I did like Superman's role in it, with him kind of being like, oh, without the Joker, or without Zod, I wouldn't be who I am today, and the Joker, his whole relationship with Batman. So I liked that play off of it, but when you actually got the interaction between Batman and Superman, it wasn't as funny.
No.
And I really wanted them to like really take jabs at Batman v Superman, though I did love the movie, I'll be perfectly honest. I wanted them to make fun of it, and just kind of the way the Justice League treated Batman during that one scene just really was sad.
Yeah, kind of. But, you know, it wasn't exactly a Justice League movie. So
no, but it would have been a lot funnier if at the final battle scene the Justice League would have come together and fought, because the whole thing is about family and unity and really playing off that, and they just didn't have that.
That's okay. There's a lot. They packed a... Here's the thing.
They did pack a lot in there.
This is us kind of nitpicking, because honestly, they packed a lot into this movie. And the 2+ hours that when the movie went, there's a lot in the movie. So
there's a lot to look at.
There's a lot. It's a, like, keep your eyes open the whole time and you'll miss something.
And make sure you focus on the characters, because, I mean, you will be distracted by the sets. because they are amazing, and I mean, you could get lost in them. That's another thing I absolutely loved, was that it was three-dimensional.
Right. And speaking of characters, definitely pay attention, because the cast of guest stars in this movie is insane. We're talking people from Conan O'Brien, who was the Riddler. They had Doug Benson in as Bane. Billy D. Williams from the 1984 Batman comes back to play Two-Face. I mean, and one other character that we are obliged to mention.
It is in the gay contract. If certain divas are in movies, we have to mention it.
Mariah Carey, who played Mayor McCaskill. Amazing. And I had no idea.
I had no idea. See, that's the thing that really tripped me out when you told me that it was her. The mayor was actually funny.
She was hilarious.
She was actually funny. So to find out it was Mariah Carey,
I was like, what?
really, really tripped me out.
Which makes it even much of a better movie, because you don't even know these things, and they're being naturally funny without you knowing that it's them.
Yeah, it really was an amazing movie. I give it an 8 out of 10.
I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I know I am going to sound a little bit more nitpicky, because I just wanted that little bit more. I would even see this more as a two-parter, with as much as they crammed into it, but I don't know that they could have... I think they could have spread it out, but I'm afraid it would have been too long.
It would have been too long.
I do wish, though, we had more quips with Robin ripping off his pants.
That was hilarious.
It was hilarious, and they needed more of that. So what did you guys think? Have you guys seen the movie yet? Go ahead and leave comments down below. If you want to see more of our beautiful faces, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And then also don't forget to give this movie a thumbs up. And until next time, ta-ta.
Ta-ta.